You know, something is beautiful. You mostly probably don't want to keep it to yourself. You probably want to tell someone or share it with someone.
Right.
And, you know, and that discovery of like, oh, I think our inclination is really to share what we love. So if we're practicing identifying and articulating what we love, in all likelihood, we're going to be sharing.
Yeah.
We're going to be practicing sharing what we love.
Yeah. And you include many references to nature in your garden. I have to tell, if people haven't read your book yet, Ross is a gardener. He loves to garden. I only know that from what I've read. Was there any one person in your life who loved their garden, and in turn that same love grew within you?
You know, when I moved to Bloomington, I was I've lived in Bloomington, Indiana for about 12 years, and I was around quite a few people who were either serious gardeners or maybe farmers or emerging gardeners or starting out as gardeners, and we're starting out as farmers. So I was around a lot of people who were thinking hard about that kind of stuff. I was also, right at the beginning of my garden life, I was getting involved with something called the Bloomington Community Orchard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that orchard, it's a project that was started by someone named Amy Countryman, and it was it's basically just a volunteer-run, free fruit for all kind of food justice and joy project. That's what I call it. But it's a place where there are an acre. It's not big, it's the size of a football field, but it's an acre. It's 100 fruit trees, several bushes, flowers, etc. And it's a place where basically, as I think of it, people are invited to gather to practice gathering, and they're invited to gather to practice sharing, which is to say to practice being neighbors, and expanding the notion of neighbors. And so that was something that I was doing right. That was something that informs every, that project, the Community Orchard, informs so much about what I do as a writer, but also what I do as a gardener and a grower, and how I think about these gardens as being places where, many, many, many loves have informed the way that this garden exists. The earth being one of those loves, or being the primary love.
Yes.
The love.
Yeah.
And the garden then being a place that wants to share those loves. Like, it feels good to share your peppers. It feels good to share your tomatoes and your cucumbers and your zucchini. Everyone knows it feels good to share. You got extra stuff or you don't have extra stuff, but just to give it away because it's beautiful and it tastes good.
Yeah, and that brings me to my next sort of observation. One of my favorite essayettes was "Get Thee to a Nutrient Cycle." That actually, I think, is my all-time favorite. And
good. I'm glad to hear.
That was fantastic. And actually, it was the title of that essay that actually drew my attention, because I read your book in I chose birthdays and I used that, or I used lottery ticket numbers. I used to choose which ones I wanted to read. But the Get Thee to a Nutrient Cycle, right after I thought I heard that title, the immediate words that came after that was "Get thee to a nunnery," and Shakespeare's "Get thee to a nunnery." And I thought, oh, I wonder what this is about. And I immediately decided I wanted to read that essayette. And I thought that it was a fantastic essayette that you were able, you literally, it was funny, and it was loving, and it was delightful, and it was your way of introducing yourself into your garden, literally into your garden. Could you talk about that a little bit? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Oh, yes, sure. In that essay, that's one of those essays where it's sort of like when when you were mentioning or acknowledging the kind of many things are happening at once, the many sort of digression. And basically the story is that, or the essay discusses how I will use my urine in my garden because it's a source of nutrients. And one day I was with my partner and living with my partner for the year, and I was picking up her kid from camp or something. but previously I had been playing basketball and was doing a good job at, as I say, harvesting my pee. And so I had a little bit of urine in an old Gatorade bottle in the cup holder when I picked this kid up, and that kid went. I had to stop that child from drinking my pee. And that's kind of the premise of that's kind of the narrative action of the essay. But the other thing of the essay is that to me, it's a kind of environmental concern, because really what I'm talking about is what does it mean when we lose track of the fact that we're part of the nutrient cycle? Like, what are we capable of doing when we do not, which is to say, what are we capable of doing when we do not realize that we are in fact the earth?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And, and actually after I had read your essay, I was walking around and my husband said to me he had replanted the avocado tree in our garden and he was worried that it wouldn't survive. So I told him to pee on it. And he said, volumetrically, I don't think I can keep it alive. So I gave him the Book of Delights and I told him to read Get Thee to a Nutrient Cycle.
Yeah, that's great.
And I have to tell you, the avocado tree is doing quite well.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it.
So what I wanted to ask you, how different is it for you to write poetry and an essayette?
I think I basically know how to answer that question, but it's not a real articulate answer. One is that when I'm writing, everything I'm writing from a place of unknowing. Like I have a curiosity, a deep curiosity, and I am writing to sort of figure something out about that thing. These essays, I had a sort of guiding principle, and that was like, delight. Why does this thing that delighted me, why does it delight me? But most often with my poems, my relationship to that unknowing is deeper. And which is to say, sometimes people will ask me, well, why didn't you just write a poem every day about something that delighted you? And I could not do that. Like I couldn't do it. I don't make poems in that way. There's some more, something more deeply unknown about the process and even the way that the poems arrive, so that I can't command them. I'm not in command of them.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. It's So how do you begin your day of inspiration and delight?
How would I do it?
How do you begin your day of inspiration and delight?
Well, I guess I just try to keep my eyes and my ears and my everything open. I just try to stay open.
Yeah, the being attentive is really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that the Book of Delights is quite theatrical, and it reminds me of watching one-act plays. Except we're visualizing it in our mind. Is there some theater in your mind when you write?
So interesting you ask that. I picture these things so much. Nothing pleases me more than when I can really picture what's going on in an essay or something, or a poem. Like I really kind of draw on that. Though I didn't think of them as theatrical, even some of the essays, they have little moments of like where, there's like little dialogues, like sort of written like a play, actually, or a screenplay or something. And I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's definitely in there. Yeah.
Ross, I have to tell you that this has been an absolute pleasure. I wish we had lots more time to spend talking to you. I know that you have busy schedule. Most of my guests this month have had huge busy schedules, and you are no exception. And Ross Gay will be at the 2019 Miami Book Fair on Saturday, November 23rd, reading from his book, The Book of Delights. And it is delightful. And by the way, Ross, you're at 3 p.m. on Saturday, November 23rd, if you didn't know, but I just found that out.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Thank you.
It's a bit of information for you. Thank you so much, Ross, for spending time with us today on Yin Yoga Lifestyle.
Thank you. It was really fun talking to you.
Oh, really fun. Likewise. And if you would like more information about Ross Gay and his work, you can visit rossgay.net. It is the Book of Delights that he will be reading from at the Miami Book Fair. And thanks again for being here, Ross, on Yin Yoga Lifestyle. Again, what a delightful treat it has been. I am tickled pink.
Thank you so much. Yeah, glad to talk to you.
Thank you. And please don't forget to check us out at yinyogalifestyle.com, adding enlightenment, calm, balance, and creativity to your everyday life. Thank you for joining Yin Yoga Lifestyle. I am your host, Colette Darville. Join us next time to continue our journey of balancing into a state of perfect harmony. Until then, this is Colette Darville, reminding you to inhale, sow, and exhale, hum.